Hi guys, so today's video was highly requested. Probably my most requested video ever since I've started YouTube, and it's how I lost weight. So when I was my heaviest, I was 62 kilos and now I'm around 47. So I lost a total of 15 kilograms, which equates to around 30 pounds. I would say I seriously started my weight loss journey and seriously started making changes to my lifestyle and my dietary habits earlier this year. I want to say around April, and it is October. So the bulk of the 15 kilos that I lost was during the past 6 months or so. Before I get into how I lost weight, I think it's important to understand how I gained weight, because a lot of the weight that I lost was weight that I gained during college and post-grad. So I used to avoid vegetables at all costs. I didn't like eating vegetables because I thought it was a waste of space in my stomach. Like, I had a limited amount of space in my stomach and I wanted it to all be junk food, like greasy junk food. The dining halls in my university would be buffet style, so you can eat whatever you want to, and I avoided the salad bar and I would always just go for the yummy stuff. So freshman 15 hit me. I gained 15, probably more than 15 pounds, probably around 20 pounds honestly. I started living off campus and living alone starting my second year of college, and because I lived alone, I didn't want to buy a lot of perishable salads and fresh fruits and veggies. I never cooked at home either, so I survived off of pizza. I lived really close to a Papa John's. They didn't even have to ask me for my name because I went there so often. Like, all of the workers knew me. So I ate a bunch of pizza, I ate a bunch of Chinese takeout. I also loved McDonald's. I could eat 40 McNuggets in one sitting. I could probably still do that, honestly. I really like McNuggets. I would always eat fast food, instant ramen, things that I could keep in my pantries for a long time without them going bad. That's how I survived college. And then post-grad, after I graduated, I moved to LA. I was living in LA, Koreatown. Their Korean food's so good. So good. I was eating out at restaurants all the time. Again, still not cooking a single meal at home. I was drinking every weekend too, and that's when I gained the most weight. Because I never consumed a single milligram of fiber, I had really bad constipation. I got my first hemorrhoid when I was 19 years old. Getting painful hemorrhoids and not being able to sit down on my chair and study because it was so painful was not enough of a motivator for me to eat veggies. Anyway, I had hemorrhoids for like the next 2 years, and then COVID hit. I moved back to my parents' place and my mom cooked me good, healthy Korean food, and my hemorrhoids went away. But then they came back. They came back earlier this year. The hemorrhoids coming back after not having to deal with them for 4 years was honestly, quite literally, my last straw. And I was like, okay, something has to change. I cannot do this again. I also struggled with regulating my blood sugar levels. Whenever I ate something that was sugary or had a high glycemic index, my blood sugar level would spike and then it would crash. But when it crashed, I would start feeling like I was gonna pass out. I would be shaky, sweaty. Because of that, I stopped eating carbs for breakfast so that I wouldn't get the crash during the day while I'm at school. So this brings me to the type of diet that I chose. So to get rid of constipation, I tried to eat a lot of high fiber foods like veggies and berries, and I also tried to drink a lot of water. I cut out a lot of refined carbs and sugars from my diet, and I focused on making low carb, keto friendly substitutions to whatever I wanted to eat. So let's say I wanted to eat a quesadilla. Instead of just regular tortillas, I would get 0 carb tortillas. If I wanted to eat bread, I would eat keto friendly bread instead of regular bread. If I wanted to eat kimchi fried rice, I would eat kimchi fried rice, but instead of regular Spam, I might use light Spam or turkey Spam. And instead of white rice, I'll use hearts of palm rice, cauliflower rice, or I'll just substitute with veggies or whatever I have. If I'm craving curry, for example, I'll cook up the curry with chicken thigh or chicken breast and put veggies in there. But instead of putting it over rice, I would just put it over like cauliflower rice, just to add more volume and make it low carb. And I would just make those substitutions to whatever meals I wanted to eat. I would still eat pretty much the same meals, but I would just make those small substitutions. And I think that's what ultimately helped me to adhere to this diet too. The fact that I was still eating food that I genuinely enjoyed eating. I was just making appropriate substitutions that led me to lose weight. I'm not saying my diet is the healthiest. It's just what worked for me. I couldn't just jump into a Mediterranean diet. Honestly, like, whole foods based diets are so good for you. We all know that. If I had jumped into that kind of diet, I would have quit after 3 days. So this is what worked for me, and I'm just saying this is how I lost weight. There are a lot of ways. Just do what works for you and what your goals are. I think patience patience is key here, because I didn't start seeing results until maybe like 3 months into these changes, and it's obviously like very gradual. I didn't notice that I was losing weight until I tried on a pair of pants that used to fit me snugly, and they were like loose, and I was like, I lost weight? I would look in the mirror and it would be the same as yesterday or the day before. You're not gonna wake up and just notice results. So you have to stick to a diet. The only way I would have been able to stick to my diet is if I could still eat my quesadillas. You know what I mean? If you live in the US, there are a lot of keto-friendly substitutions that you can just get at your local grocery store. I think it was a lot easier for me because I could literally just get 0 sugar versions of everything. When it comes to weight loss, I think dieting is a lot more important than workouts. Workouts are good to build muscle and build stamina, and I'm going to talk about the workouts that I did later. Being in a calorie deficit is important. Now, I will say I did not count my calories because I didn't want to have an unhealthy obsession over calories, but I knew based on the substitutions that I was making that I was eating fewer calories than I used to. I think for me, because I'm so used to very high calorie fast foods, it was easy for me to make changes that were lower in calories because my diet was so shit back then. So I ate a turkey breast sandwich almost every day. This is the main meal that helps me to eat my veggies. So you're gonna need some bread. I got this from Costco. Inked keto seeds bread. 2 slices of this roasted turkey breast. This tastes really good. It's Miracle Whip, but I get the light version. And then for the veggies, I really like eating spring mix with my sandwiches. Also, one thing about me is that if there's something that I like, I will eat it every day. Like, I will not get sick of it. I take the biggest handful of spring mix. This is how thick my sandwich is. Cut it through the middle. This is some kimchi fried rice that I made with hearts of palm rice instead of regular rice. But I also added in some broccoli, chopped veggies in there, threw in some Spam. It's really good. This is my go-to rice substitute. It's hearts of palm rice from Trader Joe's. It doesn't taste like rice, I'm gonna be honest. It just has the look and the volume of rice. So if you just need a volume substitute, you can get this. But if you don't have this, you can just chop up veggies and add that to whatever meal you're having. Also, just to show you all of the sugar-free stuff that you can get. Sugar-free sweet chili sauce. Sugar-free barbecue sauce. Sugar-free maple syrup. PB2. Instead of regular almond butter, this has a fraction of the calories and tastes better. This is the sugar-free sweetener that I like to use for baking or for my lattes. Now let's talk about the workouts that I did. I like going to the gym and I like working out because it helps me relieve stress. When it comes to weight loss, I think dieting is a lot more important than workouts. So you don't necessarily need to be hitting the gym 3 times a week, but I just liked doing it. So I did go to the gym regularly. You can't spot reduce fat, but you could spot build muscle. And I think that's important in shaping your body the way you want it to look like. One thing that my past fitness trainers and Pilates instructors noticed right off the bat when they first saw me was my rounded shoulders, meaning that my shoulders were really hunched forward. Like they were like rounded forward because this was my default posture. So I really wanted to focus on strengthening my back muscles so that my shoulders wouldn't be hunched forward. I also used to have like a buffalo hump that I was really insecure about, but now it's gone. So I do lat pull downs, 3 sets of 12, seated rows, 3 sets of 12, lat raises, 3 sets of 12. And then for lower body, I did squats, 3 sets of 12, and these are all with weights. RDLs with leg on wall, 3 sets of 12 on each side, and glute kickbacks, 3 sets of 12. So for cardio, I would choose to do Stairmaster if it's available, but the gym that I went to did not have a Stairmaster. So I went on the treadmill with an incline of, I would say like 6 to 9, and then I would do 3.5 miles per hour for 45 minutes. Or until I get tired. Like sometimes I would go the full hour. So I guess that's it for this video. I hope this video helped answer all of your questions regarding my weight loss. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
slow drum, and the DJ keeps playing the same songs. And time isn't moving